Then how do you end up getting caught? I mean, how do you get arrested for all of this if none of your patients were ratting you out?
So I think it came from California.
Really?
Oh, great.
A patient from California?
So there's a big, obviously Utah is a big Mormon community, and there's a lot of Mormons in California too. So there's a big family connection. I don't know for sure. Okay, but I just wanted to say
It's a hunch, basically.
Anyway, I just wanted to rub it in with you guys.
Nice jab at the Californians.
Yeah, our state taxes aren't enough now.
But I think there was a lady that was so anti-vax, and she had told her HR department that she would, rather quit or get fired or never work again than get a COVID shot. And she found out through some family or friends or something that what we were doing, and she came to me, got a COVID card, and went back to her HR department. And then the HR department called the Utah Health Department and said, this lady here, there's no way that she got a COVID shot. You need to look into this organization. We think that they're doing something nefarious. So that's how it started.
Always goes back to the HR, huh?
Always goes back to California. So fast forward now, the indictment comes down accusing you of falsifying COVID vaccines and COVID cards. What was your first initial reaction to this?
I'm going to fight it. And, just like I was saying earlier, I didn't feel like I'd done anything wrong. And I didn't think that, they're accusing me of fraud. Fraud requires intent. So they have to prove that my intent was to steal money from the government.
And did they come to your clinic and arrest you, or did they come to your home and arrest you?
So they came to my clinic and they served us with a search warrant for my phone and my office manager's phone on January 11th. We never got served. We never got arrested. I found out that we actually had been indicted through an email that I got from a reputation restoration company, saying, hey, here's an article that speaks very poorly of you. We can help restore your reputation if you let us help you. And it was an article from heavy.com talking about the indictment that had just come down on January 11th.
But it says you spent over a month in jail.
I did. That was later.
What was that for?
I sent a text message to two of my co-defendants saying, hey, we have a hearing tomorrow. I'd like to make sure that you know about the hearing and you should bring your attorneys.
And that's the reason why you were arrested and put in jail?
Yes.
How does that even make sense?
My pretrial restrictions required that I not speak to my co-defendants about the case. And the judge said that the term about the case includes texting and talking to your co-defendants about a hearing.
So you were thrown in jail for over a month.
I was in jail that time for 22 days.
Okay, so it wasn't over a month. It was just under a month.
Well, I was in jail for 12 days prior to that.
Jeez. What was that for?
So there were, when you get, federal cases don't have bail anymore. They have pretrial, like pretrial release restrictions. And if they don't consider you a flight risk or a danger to the community, then they have to let you go. And so they give you restrictions and they tell you what it is that you need to do. One of those restrictions, as we talked about, was not talking to your co-defendants. Well, two of my co-defendants were employees of mine. So we were obviously going to talk to each other. And so they caveated that and they put in a separate one that said, well, you just can't talk to your co-defendants about this case. Obviously, we can talk to each other about the goings on in the office and, how to take care of patients and, those kinds of things. One of the other requirements for me was for me to submit to them a monthly statement, monthly banking statement about my business, because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't just going to steal a whole bunch of money and kind of hide it away. Because initially they thought that if I'd have been convicted on everything, that there was going to be a $750,000 fine potentially levied against me. In addition to the jail time that was associated with the charges. They said that I had to turn in my passport and that I had to get my DNA. I had to go to the Marshal Service and have them swab me and get my fingerprints. Well, I had my passport in my car. I just forgotten to give it to my attorney. It completely spaced it. But when they said that I needed to be DNA, DNA stamped or, fingerprinted and all that stuff. The checkbox next to it on the form wasn't checked. So I then also challenged the government's jurisdiction by stating that they didn't have jurisdiction over me, that the U.S. is a corporation, that, I'm a sovereign citizen type of argument. And so you can't do what it is that you're doing to me. So two of us filled out the same thing. In other words, Carrie and myself filed the same motion. All we did was just change the name. And the judge questioned me about it, threw me in jail, and let Carrie go. And what they did was they accused me of being a flight risk because I was challenging jurisdiction. I hadn't turned in my passport, which was evidence that I was getting ready to flee, and that I refused to abide by pretrial restrictions by not getting my, DNA, my mouth swabbed, and my fingerprints done.
Had Carrie Carrie turned in her passport and done the swab?
So Carrie had, good question. I think she had done one and not the other, and then she filed the same motion that I filed. I don't think she'd been swabbed yet, or she had turned in her passport, or vice versa. But I got thrown in jail for 12 days, and she went home. Mm-hmm. And then the second time around, Joe, just a second. So then the second time around, Chris and I got arrested, for doing the same thing, for texting each other. And she got sent home, and I got thrown in jail for 22 days. So I was the target, and it was obvious that they were coming after me.
Doctor, how'd they monitor your text messages? How'd they know that you were sending text messages back and forth regarding what you weren't supposed to be sending text messages about?
So that's when Carrie, my now ex office manager, she turned me in over that.
Oh, shoot. Did you enjoy that clip? Click over here to watch the full episode, and click over here to subscribe to the WiseNuts podcast YouTube channel.